Hello, this is Mel Thompson, and this is a podcast and a series of podcasts about political risk. Today I'll be talking about Cassava. Cassava as a foreign direct investment, an opportunity to support the processing of finished food products using cassava from the African continent prior to export has now emerged with government backing. The export of raw materials creates a supply chain. However, the time and effort of putting together an export regime of the finished products also creates a certain level of political risk that need to be considered. The finished products now are going to be a new market, the new cassava market. Unlike the raw product that's now going out and being part of other products, and essentially it is just more or less a major part of a supply chain. Not to say that there is no market for it as a raw material, not to say there's not a market for it as a finished product. It right now is more or less a raw material in a supply chain as opposed to being a major market on its own. Now, this is why African agricultural officials are now looking into ways of producing agricultural products for export alongside the already cassava raw material market. Cassava has long been a staple of food in the developing world, but the potential for a series of finished products has not been explored as much as it should have been by foreign direct investors. Cassava can be the source for whiskey, beer, flour, chips, and other products. What is required is a development plan that attracts FDI, or also known as foreign direct investment, and willing partners to look and see the value of cassava beyond its uses as a raw material to produce other products. As I said previously, it right now is more or less used as a raw material in a supply chain method as opposed to a finished product creating a different market. The opportunity to create a market with it as a finished product is now there. The current export targets for African cassava as a raw ingredient are the Americas and Thailand, Japan, and other export targets can be created one at a time. There should be no limit to the export targets that possibly can be created as long as a proper export regime for finished cassava products is developed. Now, primarily the FDI need is in the rural communities that use traditional methods of harvesting cassava, and this need is there because no one has yet turned the finished products into something that can be exported. There's no export methodology. There is no plan at this point. There is no system in place. Now, by creating new markets, there is a clear path to a return on investment, return on the foreign direct investment in a new cassava finished products market. No guarantees exist with any business venture, whether overseas or in the U.S. However, FDI that has a focus on new yet tested elements can be seen as a safe harbor for expansion. Another good argument for moving into cassava via FDI is a robust economic structure already in place in certain areas of the world. Production of cassava and the cassava root, shall we say, now exceeds 230 million tons. Over 100 million plus of this production is from the African continent. This is just the raw material. Just the raw material. There is no ceiling for finished products at this time. FDI in cassava may be the next best thing since sliced bread, considering it is an important food staple. It is important to food security in Africa, and is more than just a raw material. Cassava is a dietary staple that alleviates hunger and produces other products and other goods that are now being looked upon as potential finished products to be exported from the African continent. This has been Mel Thompson.